Psalms chapter 73, verse 5. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory. Call halal Allah Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Waha, Rachakadosh. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth for faith and sincerity, risking their lives and the freedom to do so. Shalom to the Akwat and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willing, it's an edifying video. Once again, it's the brother Yah, what's up? Out of the GMS Church in Cleveland, a fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Yahweh Shah. I meant to give shout outs to my apostles and elders that taught me this truth. The sincere Akim out there pushing this truth with faith and sincerity, risking their lives and freedom to do so. Shalom to the Akwat and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willing, it's an edifying video. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land and the other nations looking like the other nations, subscribing to this truth. To you, I say shalom. And this is a lesson I want to do. I just want to say I give much respect and honor due to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us this truth. Because I was just, meditating on the fact if those men wouldn't have been diligent to come in the truth and stay in the truth, being diligent, and just, I would have never learned the truth. I didn't find out the truth through the elders, but, well, put it like this, I didn't understand who the elders were. I actually, the first cap I actually seen was GMS Houston. And that's the spirit, because I just was listening to Apostle Tahar. I hear that he said that I think that they broke off from Great Millstone. So, just it's amazing how the spirit works. But like I said, once again, I just want to thank those men, the elder apostles, because without them, no other man, no elders would have known the truth, and I wouldn't have learned the truth. Basically, this year, 2020, year 2020, started off with a major prophecy, because it's prophesied that, America and Iran are going to come to blows. And it started off with America basically assassinating Iran's top general. So that's why I started off with that scripture. And then I came across a news article, and basically Trump was talking shit. So that's why I started with that scripture, Psalm 73, because they aren't in trouble. They are not in trouble like other men. Even a loser Edomite on this side, because he gonna lose in the kingdom, but he's losing over here. Because you got Edomites to show you how it's all about how carnal they are. Because it's all about, they don't even take the time to treat the people that look like them, decently. But for the most part, they're not in trouble like other men. You know what I mean? And violence does cover them. You know what I mean? We were speaking on. I have watched that movie, that Joker movie, and the brother thyself, the elder from Houston, that was the head of the camp. He did a video about that as far as the Joker and how he made $1 billion. And if you ever watch it, he was saying that that's the spirit that Esau gonna come in. And when you watch that movie, basically it was a story about a man that was fed up and just went postal. That's how they portrayed the Joker. And when shit get real bad, who tends to do that? That red Hebrew Edomite. So I'm going to bring that back out again. Psalms 73. I'm going to start at verse 3. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. And they are prosperous. You know what I mean? Like I said, at the end of the day, when you see these Edomites, and, I got a few brothers in the camp that actually, like, do, what's that? That Grubhub, or that app where you deliver food, and they, just a few brothers in as far as the industry where they're servicing, where they're driving products from, if it's Amazon to the Grubhub shit, whatever that app is. You know what I'm talking about though, when they, deliver you food, and they say how they pulling up on these Edomites in their houses. I mean, of course, it's envious because the wicked, in this satanic place, the wicked prosper. You know what I mean? They say who the only person that can help you in hell is the wicked, or the Satan, or the devil. To get anything in this society, you got to bow down to this Edomite. Verse 4, for there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. Verse 5, they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. They're not suffering no poverty like that. And if it is one that appears to be an Edomite, he might not be an Edomite. He might be a Jake. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, there's always exceptions to the rule, you know what I mean? And then the way that this country's going, like Apostle Tahar was saying, there's a lot of documentaries on YouTube showing how these Edomites is living bad. And he was saying to the point, he was like, shit, it was so bad, it made him like, feel sorry for the Edomites. That's a hell of a statement, correct? It says, but for the most part, they don't live like other men. Like I say, like, come on, like, you ever been to any of these gated communities or whatnot? Like, you still got a lot of them functioning right now. Look at what's going on in New Jersey with the gentrification. You know what I mean? They basically just coming in there and taking the land from Jake. And what other people could do that? Damn sure ain't them gooks, and damn sure ain't, it's Amalek, the fake Jew. Therefore, pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment. Verse 7, their eyes stand out with fatness, they have more than heart can wish. And that's the truth, you know what I mean? Like, you've ever been to, like for instance, I was talking to a 2/3 guy I know. He left from here and went to Washington. He said he bought a truck. He had a truck here. He bought a truck there. Decent truck. He said he only got 77,000 miles on it. I think he said it's a Ford or something like that. But long story short, 77,000 miles on it. He said he paid $600 for it. Because this Edomite, he said he bought it from, just had shit to go. You know what I mean? Like, that was nothing to that Edomite. Verse 8, they are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. And that's what I wanted to get, because at the end, loftily, they speak high, concerning oppression. And basically, that's a perfect scripture to go with this article, So, like I said, when I seen this article, I said I wanted to do a video on it. I thought I would do it with a brother, but, as long as the will Yahweh, while Yahweh Shai coming out. This is from RT News. It's dated January 3rd, 2020. Trump tweets after Quds chief killing. Iran never won a war but never lost a negotiation. And that's prideful. You know what I mean? After you done kill. Look at this devil's face. You know what I'm saying? Look at his face. If that ain't Satan. It says, following the U.S. assassination of Iran's Quds Force chief Qasem Soleimani, President Donald Trump took to Twitter, issuing a quite cryptic message that Iran has never won a war but never lost a negotiation. The commander of the elite Quds force was killed overnight in Baghdad International Airport alongside with several other high-ranking officials from local pro-Iranian militias. The assassination was carried out on the personal direction of Trump. The U.S. military has said, claiming it was acting to protect America and its citizens. And that's the spirit, because I was just listening to, I forgot what brother, he was just talking about how, matter of fact, it was the elder apostle Rob Loud. He was talking about how, these other nations is finding out how, like they'll say one thing, America say, well, it was because of this that we did this. And then come to find out, the main reason why how they got in there, like with the shit that happened with Iraq, with Saddam Hussein. Come to find out it wasn't no weapons of mass destruction, but that was the rules they used to get into the country. Soleimani was blamed for the deaths of hundreds of Americans and coalition service members and attacks on the U.S. While the killing prompted a lot of self-back-patting among top U.S. officials over a job well done, the U.S. president himself took an apparent conciliatory tone, suggesting that the attack was carried out to push Tehran into negotiations. And this is what I wanted to get. It said in a separate thread, Trump praised himself for the assassination, insisting that Soleimani killed or badly wounded thousands of Americans over an extended period of time and was plotting to kill many more and therefore should have been taken out many years ago. He also claimed that the Quds force chief was both hated and feared in his home country and that the Iranians are not nearly as saddened as the leaders will let the outside world believe. You hear this bullshit? Those people sit over there. This prove that you, and people so fucking stupid, they'll believe this bullshit. That's why you got dumbass niggas sitting up there making jokes about this war that's gonna come. And that's the thing though, like I forgot what elder or what brother brought it up. He said the Most High. I know the brother that does what's his name, Dimash Apad. I might be butchering his name, but I know they call him Dimash for sure. I know he did a video on it. He basically said though, you got a lot of people doing those little like videos where they're making a joke about having to get drafted. But he said the Lord is gonna draft a lot of these niggas too. You know what I'm saying? And the Lord gonna give a lot of them niggas that was making jokes about it that because that's their fear. Motherfuckers like people. So listen, they put 80 million on his head. That wasn't just the government. People put the citizens put money up. So how the fuck was he not loved in his country? They mourned for 3 days. You know what I'm saying? But you have a dumbass nigga. That's why you got niggas that'll vote for Trump. Trump ain't for you at all. Like David Chappelle sit up there and said. He said shit. He was around a poor white guy. He said Trump is more for me than he is for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause he ain't even. I mean, he don't like niggas. He showed you he don't like. I mean, he for anybody's gonna help him make more money. You know. I just came to the realization they was talking about, you know, with a lot of these different secret societies like the Masonic orders and, you know, these fraternal orders like Eastern Stars and shit, you know, they recruit people that's going to keep this system going. A motherfucker like Shaq that's a basketball player, multimillionaire, and a fucking sheriff on the side, you really think he want to see this place fucked up? That bitch ass nigga try to kill you to keep this shit going. Yeah, he just saying earlier in the day, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has called the killing of Soleimani a defensive action and said the U.S. remained committed to de-escalation. Now, after they attack this man, they do some cowardly shit and say, because like I remember the press conference after they done did this shit. What did they say? They say, basically, like the U.S. didn't want no smoke. Like the U.S. State Department tells Americans to leave Iraq immediately after the assassination of Soleimani. But with the assassination having triggered massive outrage both in Iran and Iraq, and that's the spirit because Iraq, although as partners to a certain extent with America, they said that they felt some kind of way about it too. So they basically, it's kind of like when with China and North Korea, even though you know they consider North Koreans, if anything was to jay off, they gonna all like. That's why it says in scripture that all the places gonna come together and bomb the shit out of this place. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause all it is a big ass bully. You know what I'm saying? Like after you done. After he didn't even he assassinated. What do you call that when a motherfucker fire a drone unmanned? It's just a piece of fucking hardware, and this guy wasn't like going. You know, he wasn't on a secret mission. He was going. They said he was on his way back to fucking Iraq. That's what you heard. They said he was at an airport. He was coming back into the country. They assassinated this man. Now, if that happened to any official politician in America, you know, like I said, oh my God. So like it says, Tehran has called the attack an act of international terrorism. And that's the spirit because at the end of the day, America's quick to point out and say everybody fucking terrorists, but they just did a terroristic act. When Obama was in office, since how stupid motherfuckers is, why they praising this piece of shit ass nigga. He did more drone strikes than any president before him. Then, like I say, he calling them a terrorist. He calling this man that they assassinated, Soleimani, a fucking terrorist. But they just did a terroristic act when they took a drone and blew them up. See, talking about oxymoronic. You know what I'm saying? It says an act of international terrorism vowing vigorous revenge on America for the death of Soleimani. Iraq officials have been angered by the airstrike, with PM Adil Abdul Mahdi called a flagrant violation of his sovereignty. The murder has apparently revigorated Iraq's efforts to get the U.S. troops out. The two major parliamentary blocs have called for the adoption of the law mandating the withdrawal of all foreign military personnel from the country. And another thing, right afterwards, from what I hear, Iran wanted them out of the country. America said they're not leaving. Literally talk to them some shit like that. Now that ain't prideful. So, that's the spirit though. Maybe I read this a little bit. It says, influential Iraqi Shiite cleric Muqtada al-Sadr said the killing targeted Iraqi opposition members and extended his condolences to Tehran. He also hinted at the re-establishment of his anti-U.S. militia known as the Mahdi Army, disbanded over a decade ago, urging its members to get ready to protect Iraq. So, that being said, I'm going to just go to the book of Obadiah. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is nigh, Salaki, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? And the pride of thine heart has deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock. So when you go into the book of Job, this is the book of Job, chapter 30. I'm going to start at verse 5. They were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief. If you go into history, you'll find out the so-called white man, these red Hebrew Edomites, were pushed up into the Caucasoid mountains. Verse 6, to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys and caves of the earth and in the rocks. So when it talks about that in Obadiah, about, him that dwelleth in the cleft of the rock, is talking about these red fucking man, the real red man. Because Gad or Reuben, the native or Seminole Indians, the people that was originally on this land, that are part of the 12 tribes, the northern kingdom, which are always labeled as red man, because this red man calls him red man. That's how you know he the devil. You know what I mean? Like, Satan, the slanderer, the adversary, the deceiver, he gonna tell you that they're red with clearly Gad. If you see any pictures, I got a book right now talk about the Seminole Indians, right? Because you had a lot of Judah, a lot of Judah mixed with the Indians. That's why when you had slaves, when they would run away from the slave plantations, they would go into the countries or to the land of Gad, and Gad would welcome them in. That's why you got so many people that's so-called black, who Judah, or think they are the tribe of Judah, that got Indian ancestry. Like, I got Indian blood, you know what I mean? A lot of it, you know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't far-fetched for, Judah and Gad to mingle between the tribes, you know what I'm saying? And if you ever pay attention or ever seen a Seminole Indian or a Gadite or a Reubenite, they're pretty dark in complexion. I mean, I got a book right now that shows you that, you know what I mean? But not to digress, it says, the pride of thy heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Verse 4, though thou exalt thyself as an eagle, and you just heard him say that Trump was up there praising himself for, assassinating this man. But like I said, if that was another country, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I said, that's the fucking devil, man. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle. And the eagle is a proud bird. If you know anything about animals, because it's a bird that flies the highest to the sky. But it's going to be like Icarus. They say when you fly too high, you know what I mean, that fall is a hell of a fall. You know what I'm talking about? And thou set thy nest above the stars. They got these satellites. They try to do these space stations. This will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. So at the apex of the height of this, and if you ever go into history, you go look at different civilizations, the different cultures that came before and fell. The Most High always lets them reach a certain pinnacle, and then He brings them down. I'll probably go get one more. Well, not necessarily, because that's the point that I was trying to get at. Like I say, the pride of this damn devil. Bear with me for a second. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 11. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all things that may be desired are not to be compared to it. So, at the end of the day, we that are in this truth, hopefully, of the hopeful elect, faithful servants of Yahweh Yahweh Shah, we covet wisdom of all things. That's why you hear brothers that's in the truth, you'll hear them speak on how they courting wisdom, you know what I mean? And true wisdom is the fear of the Lord, you know what I mean? True wisdom, Sophia, the woman that you really want to give your heart to, is is the woman that a man in his truth is supposed to really be trying to court. Because at the end of the day, trust me, I've been through it. That was my lot, to deal with a woman, because they not Eve no more. You know what I mean? Like, they damn demons. You know what I mean? Like, real talk. Like you say, and I was listening to brothers from Ancient of Days speak on that. You know what I mean? You ain't got no Rebecca's no more. You ain't got no fucking Judiths no more. You ain't got no Esther's. Esther was a humble woman. Know why? She helped to bring down a nation, but she didn't bring them down. No, because she was directed by a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, a man told her what the fuck to do. Anyhow, Salakia, verse 12, I, wisdom, dwell with prudence and find out knowledge of witty invention. Verse 13, the fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride, and arrogancy, and the evil way, and the forward mouth do I hate. And if you seen that picture, like I'm sure you did, you seen how arrogant and prideful Donald Trump was after he basically assassinated that man. But like I said, he talking about how lowly and how treacherous fucking Iran is, but this motherfucker used a drone strike to assassinate the military leader. Why would you think they do that, though? Why would you think? You know what I'm saying? These people is not going to be ready for it. Lord will, this be the year that, major prophecy kick off, you know what I mean? That they set to go to war. That they issue and make this chip mandatory. Because, like I said, when that chip made mandatory, although Jacob's trouble is going to be hell, at the same time, that's going to be a beautiful thing for us. It's going to be, because we know our salvation is near. I believe in this lesson with this scripture for these devils. And 2/3, because you got 2/3 niggas that's just as prideful, They say they so wicked. These 2/3 niggas, they so wicked, they taught the wicked their way. You know what I mean? This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 18. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. So you go into that word haughty, H1363, arrogance, elation, loftiness, high pride. And the funniest part is, who the most prideful people on the planet? I just brought out multiple scriptures. These so-called white people. I've been, homeless. That was part of my lot. I have seen these so-called white people. Now you can tell the difference. Like I said, you'll see a homeless white person smelling like shit and just still they'll be at the soup kitchen inspecting. Everybody's supposed to bother. You'll be still just prideful. You know what I'm saying? I just say something that appeared to be looking like they white, but too cool with Jake, and just they style and swag just different. You know. Anyhow, like I say, right now this devil's proud. You know what I mean? That's why he made the tweets, and you see that face, the look on his face. But at the end of the day, the Most High got him in a trick bag. And like I said, that's one thing. When you fly high, that make that fall even more harder. The higher you fly, the harder that fall. So with that, I hope this lesson was edified. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory, call Allah, La Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Waha, Rachagadas Wakatam. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth for faith and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. Shalom to the Akwati, the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willing, it was an edifying video. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of the other nations, looking like the other nations, but subscribing to this truth. To you, I say shalom. Lord willing, I'm able to come with another lesson. And till next time, Adawan Ratazah, shalom, shalom, and a Bible ball.